Tzu Chi volunteers in Canada host a winter aid distribution for the homeless in Whalley. And we see how a community kitchen in Taiwan is providing food and companionship for the elderly in Nantou. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shoda. Thank you for joining us. In Thailand, several townships in Ayutthaya have been flooded during the annual rainy season. Tzu Chi volunteers held 7 aid distributions at the beginning of November. Over the course of 2 days, they gave out rice, medicine, and other supplies to nearly 3,600 affected families.
Relying on a cane, Grandma Sanian comes to the aid distribution site. Since her home has been flooded, she cannot wait to receive the aid supplies from Tzu Chi. Since the grandma has a mobility issue, the volunteer helps her carry the aid supplies home and get to understand her living conditions.
With these supplies, I do not need to go out often to buy food. The 10 kilograms of rice can last for a month. The eggs are good, but we will finish them in a week because the children love to eat eggs.
During Thailand's annual rainy season, Ayutthaya is often flooded. This year, the rainy season has arrived early, and the areas along Chao Phraya River and low-lying areas have been flooded for several months. Tzu Chi volunteers have conducted disaster assessments since October and chosen to distribute aid supplies to more than 3,000 households in Ayutthaya on the first weekend of November.
Although the amount of supplies is not much, you are the only ones who have cared for us after the flood. The aid items can reduce our burdens.
As we suffer from floods, people have reached out to us. Tzu Chi volunteers often distribute supplies for us. So upon knowing that Tzu Chi volunteers are coming, I feel at ease.
Among the 7 flooded townships, 6 of them are in Pampayin. Therefore, the magistrate has come to the distribution site to thank Tzu Chi.
Currently, the water is receding 5 to 10 centimeters a day. The water level varies according to high and low tides. I believe the water will completely recede soon. The residents' suffering caused by the floods will be alleviated.
Besides distributing aid supplies, Tzu Chi volunteers also conduct home visitations. Among them, a Tzu Chi with a nursing background also teaches the affected residents ways to care for their health after the floods, soothing the flood victims' anxious minds.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Canada annually host a winter aid distribution for the homeless in Surrey. This year is the 16th distribution since 2002. Although the number of the homeless friends has increased, the love from Tzu Chi remains just as compassionate as ever. As the maple leaves turn brown, it's a clear indication that winter is near. The streets of Whalley in the Vancouver area is lined with tents, as many of those affected by the wildfires have no roof over their head, leading to the increase of the homeless.
Towards the end of the year annually, we'll come here to conduct our winter aid distribution because Canada's winter is very cold.
Volunteers bring the homeless hot coffee to warm their stomachs. This recipient used to be in the military, but after retiring, he couldn't find a suitable job and have been homeless ever since.
Grateful for the past, look forward to the future, take advantage of the present. Can I have a hug? I'll take advantage of the present. That's nice.
All the best.
All the best to you.
To reciprocate his gratitude, he performs a song with his dog. Meanwhile, at the shelter, the volunteers work together to clean up the venue and decorate the place with a bit of festive touch. Besides the needed daily necessities, there are gloves, coats, and other items of clothing to ward off the cold.
I feel good. I feel that you guys are providing a great service to the community. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here that don't have a lot of stuff, right? Clothing you have on is going to make a big difference, you know, to staying warm, you know?
This one, the most important, because I go home 12 o'clock midnight. Very cold.
Good. You have a warm winter.
Yes. I'm very good.
Good.
Look me beautifully.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you.
我觉得
When I see the look on their faces and hear them put in an effort to communicate in Chinese, really reminds me of a passage in the Sutra of Immeasurable Meanings, where it talks about how bodhisattvas are living amongst us. The compassion he has is clear. When he gives of himself, the poor can benefit from his kindness.
Volunteers hope when winter finally arrives, these homeless friends will get through it in peace. To aid recovery efforts, Tzu Chi volunteers hosted a tool distribution for residents in Mexico during their disaster assessment. Many local volunteers also contribute their services to help expedite the name list for the December relief distribution. The Tzu Chi disaster assessment team in Mexico arrived in Huejutla once more to give residents the tools they need to begin quick cleanup.
我们等于是今天在猴子了，第一次用物资来赠送给我们的当地的灾民。
This is our first distribution in Huejutla in terms of actual material items. I hope to continue our successful survey and put together a list of victims to aid our distribution in December.
La intención de Tzu Chi es ayudar a todas las familias que hayan salido.
Tzu Chi Foundation is here to help the quake victims, and we're here to explain to the local volunteers how to record the registry. We need to know in detail how many people are in the family, for example, mother, father, and children.
Sí, nosotros somos voluntarios. Yo realmente
I'm here as a volunteer mainly to support my two sons. They have been volunteering here in Huejutla since September 19th. The volunteer from San Gregorio told me how to record the information to help me speed up the registry process, as there are tons of victims here.
No habitada. Hoy yo hubiera querido estar en San Gregorio para terminar de hacer.
I should be in San Gregorio finishing up the survey there, but I felt the need to come here today to assist the locals here.
El Día de los Muertos aquí en México es para agradecerle a la gente que está.
Day of the Dead is for us to remember those who have passed and thank them for their time with us. We light candles as it represents brightness. We want them to know the way so they can return to earth as soon as possible.
Hoy es un día de descanso y un día muy especial para mí.
Day of the Dead is a holiday for us, and also to me, it's also my son's birthday. I had asked him to come with me to understand the volunteer work I'm doing.
I experienced a big earthquake in 1985, so I hope my children can understand how to help others. There are about 70 to 100 people from Huejutla who have lost their lives in this last quake. On this day, we are memorializing those who we lost in the quake and also our own family members. This candle is for my grandfather. I've given him an apple and cigarette.
Ayer cuando estaba platicando con papá Steve y con la tía Elena, me dijeron.
When I told Steve and Helena that I was coming to Huejutla, I felt they didn't need to come this way from another country to help us. But seeing them here makes me feel the work I'm doing is even more meaningful. I want to work with Tzu Chi to do something for my own people.
In Jordan, Tzu Chi volunteers have been helping Syrian refugees seek much-needed medical care. Amongst them is a single mother who spent all of her savings trying to help her son who injured his knee. Thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' assistance, the son has finally undergone the needed surgery. In addition, a baby boy also underwent surgery for bone fracture with Tzu Chi's help.
Due to the elbow pain after his surgery, 13-month-old Muhammad keeps crying. He finally falls asleep when his father holds him in his arms.
Thank you for your help. In the past, I did not know what to do. I've asked many hospitals and they told me to go abroad and get help, but that's impossible as I don't have the money. Thank you for the help.
Children recover fast. When Muhammad returns to the hospital 2 months later to remove the metal plate, he can move his elbow.
He is very good.
Alhamdulillah.
Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers continue to help Syrian refugees seek medical care. Single mother Fathia has taken her son, who injured his knee, to Jordan to seek help. Over the past 3 years, she has spent all of her savings, but her son still has not recovered. Then she was also diagnosed with bone cancer, making the situation even worse.
My 2 friends and I were injured in an explosion. One of them died and the other one suffers more serious wounds than me. I am fortunate to have met Tzu Chi and undergone the surgery. I hope you will help my friend as well.
With the health volunteers, Muhammad has undergone another surgery. Dr. Manthan thinks that his feet should be able to function normally again.
We find the ACL, anterior cruciate ligament, and the BCL, posterior cruciate ligament, is intact. He will be good by physiotherapy and training.
Despite her illness, Fathia insists on repaying Tzu Chi's medical expenses with the hand soaps she made. She said that she must reciprocate Tzu Chi's assistance so that the volunteers can help more people in need.
Four years have passed since Typhoon Haiyan devastated parts of the Philippines, and many affected residents in Tacloban have since started volunteering with Tzu Chi as a way to reciprocate the help they have received.
The volunteers are checking the name list and prepare for a distribution. Flora was once a typhoon victim, but she now volunteers with Tzu Chi.
Once you help someone, you become a bridge of helping people, and you can also influence them. They will also discover they can help people.
For the past 3 years after Typhoon Haiyan, Tzu Chi Philippine chapter has been holding monthly distributions in Tacloban to help local poor people. Wearing a pair of glasses and telling her story with tears on stage, Eufrosina is 75 years old, but she still has to work to support her family. Kilograms of rice can feed them for days. Eufrosina's husband suffers from dementia. No families build their houses with grasses, so her husband is unemployed.
If there were no Tzu Chi, they'd starve.
I want to thank Tzu Chi Foundation, Master Jinyan, and other people for helping my family. Thank you very much.
Eufrosina sometimes works at a funeral to earn a meager income. She says Tzu Chi's assistant is like a present from heaven.
Today we take you to Nantou County's Zhongliao Township, which 18 years ago was one of the worst affected areas associated with the 9/21 earthquake. Most of the homes in this area were destroyed, with many residents not only losing their homes but also access to 3 meals a day. Fortunately, Village Chief Lao Zhenyi mobilized volunteers to start a community kitchen to feed these residents. Some 18 years later, the kitchen is still operating and providing food to the elderly twice a day, 365 days a year.
Because of 9/21, all of these houses collapsed. Yes, even these sheet metal structures. This one collapsed and so did that one. And these 2 sheet metal buildings also collapsed. The 9/21 earthquake destroyed more than half of the brick houses in the village, and it resulted in many of the elderly being quite depressed. I thought a community kitchen could help cheer them up, and after 4 months, I decided to keep it going. The elderly living alone here, either an individual or a couple, may have mobility issues or may be handicapped or economically disadvantaged. This is why we send them lunch. In addition to providing nutrition, we also enhance their immunity, which helps their health, and most importantly, we see them twice a day.
As long as there's something to eat, I'm happy. These volunteers are caring for me. All of my children are out making money and don't live here.
When the 9/1 earthquake occurred, her house collapsed and she was crushed by bricks. I took a drill and a hammer for almost 3 hours to remove these bricks, laying on her and drag her out. She spent the next 6 months in a wheelchair and could not move. She recovered slowly and is now fully recovered. These elderly people who have mobility issues may fall out of bed and can't get up. Each month we send 60 meals in 30 days. When they fall, we carry them back into bed. In 2000, I've never heard of anything called elderly daycare, as we simply did this work and started way back then.
After 9/1, our house was destroyed and we had to rebuild it. The village chief was really good to us.
How much money and love has been put into Long Yan Lin to take care of elderly people in Zhongliao? I would say that to help them live a stable life, Taiwan has immeasurable love.
In Taiwan, New Taipei City government and a local temple worked together to hold the Medicine Buddha Cultural Festival at the Banqiao Stadium for the 3rd year. At the occasion, Dharma masters from various countries chanted a Buddhist sutra, and participants prayed for harmony in a world free of disasters.
New Taipei City Buddhist Society Chairman Dharma Master Jing Yao leads the other Dharma masters into the event venue. The annual Medicine Buddha Cultural Festival takes place on November 4th and is attended by the Buddhist masters from various countries.
All the disasters are caused by the negative karma we've created. As more than 1,000 Dharma masters recite the Medicine Buddha Sutra, we can get rid of disasters.
Nearly 1,000 Dharma masters recite the sutra and pray. Since conflicts have taken place on school campuses recently, Master Jing Yao thinks it is everyone's responsibility to spread the compassionate spirit of the Buddha.
When we encounter adversity, we must resolve conflicts with wisdom. Think of other people with consideration. We hope to spread the Buddha's wisdom and compassion through the Medicine Buddha Cultural Festival.
More than 4,000 participants of the festival also recite this Buddhist sutra, praying for good health and the safety of their families. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi volunteers need to prepare 5,400 meal boxes for the Medicine Buddha Cultural Festival. They've worked with food caterers in Zhanghua for 3 consecutive years.
We show our love for planet Earth. For those who are not vegetarian, once they find the vegetarian food tasty, they might try it in the future.
Volunteers also line up to neatly pack the vegetarian meal boxes.
We mobilize more than 120 volunteers. We work to provide food that tastes and looks good.
Preparing vegetarian meal boxes, volunteers have dedicated themselves to helping out at the Medicine Buddha Cultural Festival.
The 6th annual New Taipei City Public Health Department Awards ceremony was held recently, honoring 25 recipients. Mayor Eric Chu was on hand to present the award to recipients and thank the numerous medical staff for their passion for safeguarding residents of New Taipei City.
There are 4 million residents in our county, yet we are limited in our medical resources, especially in the more remote regions. I'm grateful I can count on you to take care of the residents in remote areas.
New Taipei City Mayor Eric Chu especially thanked medical professionals in the audience for their care of residents in remote regions. The 6th annual New Taipei City Public Health Department Awards ceremony awarded 25 recipients for their outstanding work. Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital took home 3 awards this year: the Special Medical Dedication Award, Educational Research, and Special Medical Contribution Award. The Deputy Superintendent of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, who has been in the cardiology department for the past 30 years, says he feels doctors should give as much as they can to their patients.
In helping patients, we are not the main character. The patient is the main focus. We're just trying our best to help. We need to show our gratitude, respect, and love to the patient.
This dedication is evident in Dr. Guo Yulin, who won the award in medical research. Over the past few years, he has led his team to study clinical cases and contribute academically.
Some of my research team has been with me for nearly 20 years. We know the best way to go about our work to improve our entire research outcome.
We go out with the hospital on field calls to free clinics. Some communities will ask our nutritionists to hold talks with their residents. If our time allows, we're always happy to go.
Given the expansive area of New Taipei City, these medical professionals have their work cut out for them. But it's also thanks to them that local residents' health are well taken care of.
Tzu Chi's reading program in 2017 to help children gain the love of reading has been expanded to Hualien's Yuli town. The foundation is donating books to 20 different schools and hopes the students will enjoy reading as it can help mold them for life.
She is Guo Weiqi, who lost both her arms and legs, but can still dance gracefully. He is Zhang Lingfeng, who has overcome his blindness to represent Taiwan in a saxophone performance at the Vatican.
Seeing them, we can reflect on ourselves. The students can learn to cherish their healthy body and also learn from their unwavering spirit. They have had to face so many challenges in life, yet they persevere on.
These performers are all members of the mixed arts troupe. Today they have arrived in Yuli to participate in the charity event held in conjunction with Tzu Chi, where the foundation is donating books to 20 local schools.
The book donation event, I believe, can help these children gain the joy from reading and more knowledge in their life. Most importantly, I think this will greatly influence them for the rest of their life.
Through these life lessons, it is hoped the students can be as tenacious as grass and grow up filled with positive energy and passion.
Recent torrential rain in Penang, Malaysia have caused even more severe flooding than 2 months ago. When the rain stopped, Tzu Chi mobilized volunteers to clean up school campuses. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us today. Goodbye.